Right now at 10, a push to protect Medicaid. Demonstrators gather at a town hall to voice their support for the program.
And another round of tariffs set to kick off in a few days. How they'll affect anyone with a vehicle.
Get the line up and run the popo.
Plus, a drag race against police officers that's perfectly legal and for a good cause.
WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening, I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski.
La Crosse area Democrats hosting a town hall tonight for residents concerned about Medicaid's future.
And the Milwaukee liberal nonprofit Citizen Action joined state Democrats at UWL's Student Union. Panelists and community members shared personal stories on how Medicaid has helped themselves or loved ones. Republicans in Congress last month passed a budget outline that calls for $2 trillion in government spending to be reduced. $880 million of that is supposed to come from the committee that oversees Medicaid. While Medicaid cuts are not specifically mentioned, Democrats nationwide believe Republicans can't arrive at those financial goals without making some kind of cut to Medicaid. Organizers say understanding Medicaid's impact on a larger level will enhance their efforts to protect it.
I think by bringing people together to demonstrate, listen, here's how this is happening, to your neighbors, we can see it within ourselves. And that's really important. That's how you begin to build the foundations of the solidarity, which can force the changes that we need.
The federal government covers 60% of Wisconsin's $11 billion Medicaid budget. So even something like a 10% federal slash would force the state to either make up the difference or make serious cuts to their own state budget.
Well, in just days, it could cost you a lot more to repair your car. That's because President Trump's tariffs will finally begin. News 8 Now's Grace Monk looks at how auto shops are preparing.
A 25% tariff is expected to go into effect on April 2nd. This means you might start paying more for auto repairs and services. Car owners can expect to pay more for essential parts like brake pads and rotors. Most of those are produced in China, Mexico, and Europe.
Majority of all parts are imported on your vehicle, whether it's your starters, alternators, batteries, and so on and so forth.
As for electronic parts, those imported semiconductors and chips are vulnerable to those trade barriers. And so is the repair service itself.
Some of the bigger companies always want to just jump on the train as fast as possible. We're going to try to ride the wave and keep the costs lower for our consumers.
Previous tariffs on aluminum and steel could also affect these prices.
So you name it on a car, it's going to have steel or aluminum on it. It is going to go down to not just the raw materials, potentially even down into the final manufactured products.
And this could end up trickling down to insurance.
They're going to have to realize some of these increases in prices right away because of the production costs of vehicles. And if the production costs of vehicles go up, just as I was reading as well, insurance costs are going to go up because the replacement costs continue to get higher on those vehicles.
And as the summer travel season gets close, money experts say rental car prices could jump. A rental that used to cost $50 a day might end up costing $75. Reporting in La Crosse, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
Governor Evers made a stop in Chippewa Falls today for a community roundtable. It's part of his statewide budget tour. He highlighted his proposed $480 million investment for the Child Care Counts program. That program has subsidized child care providers, allowing them to expand their services and keep costs lower for families. Evers says the next state budget has to keep it going.
We have to understand that, our kids are our future, and if we don't invest in them, it's going to be a bad deal for Wisconsin.
Last budget, the legislature did not add state dollars to fund child care counts long term, so the governor used FEMA funding instead, but that will run out in June. In that last proposal, the legislature rejected Evers' call for $340 million to try and fund it at the time.
Yeah, and all in all, we're looking at maybe dry conditions for the next couple days, but there are some opportunities for a few showers for some areas. That's what we're kind of looking for Tuesday, and less of a chance for Wednesday. The other story will be the temperatures. They will begin to increase. So tonight, overall, we have more clouds as that disturbance, as I mentioned, going to be coming closer to the area. So if you're with clouds, upper 20s, low 30s. Further north you go, less clouds and actually a little bit of snow on the ground, as well as the temperatures to drop into the teens. So quite a bit of spread across the area. Now, tomorrow's highs will be influenced by clouds, but overall, we should be milder for most areas than we were on Monday. That means more 50s, but that northwest wind does pick up a little bit in the afternoon because of that shower potential. Overall, there you go. Look at 29. We're getting back up to about 44 with some sunshine out there too. More clouds probably going in the afternoon for La Crosse. Less clouds even for Eau Claire. 25 and getting back up to about 42 with that northwest wind beginning to pick up a little bit by noon. Overall, there's your cloud cover and this disturbances that are kind of just flowing right across the boundary that sits right there. And they're weak, but they provide clouds and a few showers, and that's what's going to get closer over the next couple days before it passes through on Wednesday. So overall, we'll come up, we'll kind of track down when we might actually get to 70. And unfortunately, we do have another wet weekend, looks like, ahead. We'll break all that down a bit later.
All right, good with the bad.
Yep, unfortunately.
Thanks, Greg.
A man accused in a Northside shooting incident is pleading not guilty. In September, 38-year-old Tyler Yagmis allegedly held a victim back outside our corner bar while Ryder Ott threatened them with a knife and gun. Ott then allegedly shot the victim. Judge Scott Horn found probable cause in the case, binding Yagmis over for trial. He is set to return to court on April 25th.
Menominee police need the public's help in an armed robbery investigation. A man allegedly robbed Bob and Steve's BP Amico on 9th Street East on Saturday. People in the area are being asked to check their surveillance footage between 8 and 9:30 p.m. from that night. If you have any information, call the police.
A Sparta man will spend 10 years in prison for sexually assaulting a 10-year-old. The Monroe County DA's office says 39-year-old Oscar Fabian assaulted a child in 2022. Fabian will also have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life.
The Mississippi Valley Conservancy is helping you make a plan to tackle some invasive species. Invasive species expert Matt Walrath highlighted the negative impacts of non-native plants on our local wildlife. He says some plants like honeysuckle can overwhelm plants and deprive them of essential nutrients. So removing them gives native plants an opportunity to thrive.
Controlling the hops for our rivers is good for our fish. And then we also have a lot of infiltration of shrubs that are doing replacement. So instead of our oaks coming back in, they're being replaced with buckthorn and honeysuckle and other kind of invasive shrubs that suppress them and, again, aren't good for our birds and whatnot.
The free presentation is part of Mississippi Valley Conservancy's link to the Land series of hikes and workshops.
A Winona County family is one step closer to living in their brand new home. A groundbreaking ceremony was held today for the Jones family. Their new 2-story, 4-bedroom house is being built by Habitat for Humanity. Local philanthropists, volunteers, and funding from Minnesota Housing is helping make it all possible. The affordable housing shortage in Winona is something Habitat says they're happy to help the Jones family overcome.
Really looking forward to partnering with her and ensuring that her whole family gets to experience safety and stability in their new home. And we're really excited to see her kids have a yard and to put down roots that they can celebrate for the rest of their lives.
Roughly 200 hours of volunteer time will be put towards the build by some members of the Jones family. It's expected to be completed by summer of 2026.
An apparent breach of U.S. national security.
Sensitive military operations disclosed on a messaging app right after the break.
Brad Schimmel is lying about Susan Crawford's views on protecting kids, just like he lied about rape kits and let child molesters off easy, even blaming child victims. The truth, Susan Crawford is a former prosecutor, a common-sense judge, and a mom. And unlike Schimmel, she's always protected our kids, at school and everywhere else.
I'm Judge Susan Crawford, and I'll always follow the law and use common sense to decide what's right and what's wrong.
Let's create your dream home at our area's only home show from the La Crosse Area Builders Association. The only home show where you'll meet over 100 businesses ready to make your home remodel dreams happen. Basement to roof, front yard to back. The only home show with Friday date night, Saturday community day, and Sunday family day. Details are at labahomeshow.com. The LABA Home Show, sponsored by Xcel Energy and Olson Solar Energy, March 28th through the 30th at the Onalaska Omni Center.
style, or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Or get 0.9% APR on 2025 Sierra 1500 models. Or get over $5,300 total value on select Sierra 1500 models.
A federal appeals judge says Nazis detained in the U.S. during World War II were treated better than Venezuelan migrants deported last week.
And the White House has admitted to a significant security breach. CBS's Erica Brown has more from Washington.
Highly sensitive military plans about this U.S. offensive on Houthi rebels in Yemen were shared in an encrypted but unsecured group chat ahead of the attack. On the text chain, 18 people, including Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, who accidentally invited journalist Jeffrey Goldberg to the chat. The editor-in-chief for The Atlantic published a story about the security breach Monday.
I found it completely improbable that the top national security leadership in the United States would be discussing on a commercial messaging app the possible imminent attack on another country, and that they would mistakenly, I assume mistakenly, invite the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine into their discussion.
A National Security Council spokesman says the text chain on the messaging app Signal appears to be authentic. The app is not approved for sharing classified information. President Trump weighed in hours after the report.
I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
Late Monday, Secretary Hegseth pushed back on the report, calling Goldberg, quote, deceitful.
Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Top Democrats are demanding an investigation.
It's bad enough that a private citizen was added to this chain, but it's far worse that sensitive military information was exchanged on an unauthorized application.
The Trump administration was also back in court Monday appealing a federal judge's order that temporarily blocked the controversial deportation of Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador. U.S. District Judge James Boasberg ruled that the Venezuelan migrants were entitled to due process. During an appeals hearing, one judge argued Nazis detained in the U.S. during World War II received better legal treatment than the migrants deported to El Salvador. The appeals panel has not yet issued a ruling. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
The Trump administration is also asking the Supreme Court to halt a ruling ordering the rehiring of thousands of federal workers who were recently fired. Wildfires sparking evacuations in the Carolinas.
Strong winds and high temps fueling fires to areas already ravaged by Hurricane Helene.
Above average temperatures, we're going to see temperatures climb potentially up to 70 by this Friday before, unfortunately, another wet weekend may be in store. We'll break all the details down coming up on your First One weather update after the break.
Voters deserve to know what our records are.
Susan Crawford's record? Disturbing and dangerous. A 7-year-old girl sexually assaulted. The attacker faced 100 years. Crawford let him off with only 4.
I don't regret that sentence.
A 5-year-old violated. The predator should have rotted in prison. He got out in just 2 years. She protected them, not us.
I don't regret that sentence. I am proud of the work that I've done.
Susan Crawford, putting criminals over your kids.
Improving your home, improving your life with a better bathroom. In just a day or two, you can enjoy a wonderful new tub or shower that is attractive, easy to care for, and safe. New fixtures, shelves for storage, and grab bars for safety. Be safe, be happy, enjoy bathing again. Be even happier with everything new. Comfort Height toilet, vanity, sink, faucet, mirror, light, and new flooring. Call or visit the board store for a prompt free estimate. Get more for less today and every day.
Firefighters Credit Union has been a proud member of the community for nearly a century. We're local lenders with repeat borrowers that you know and you trust. Call Firefighters Credit Union today for your next mortgage.
Everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
Every kid deserves a great education. As state superintendent, I helped pass a new literacy law, raised math and science standards, and expanded technical education. My opponent is a lobbyist who's never held a Wisconsin teaching license. She's worked to drain money from public schools to pay for private schools, raise property taxes, and eliminate teacher license requirements. I'm Jill Underly. I'll protect our public schools and never stop working to improve them.
Family of SUVs, proud sponsor of winter. Now, get up to $4,000 in total cash on a 2024 Ford Escape. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
The news continues on News 8 Now. Expect more.
Fire crews are battling flames across the Carolinas.
Wildfires have scorched more than 6,000 acres. Firefighters dealing with the large number of leaves, trees, and other debris left behind by Hurricane Helene.
A dangerous combination of high temps, strong winds, and low humidity have helped the flames spread, causing thousands of evacuations and a National Guard deployment.
Well, a beautiful Monday we had today.
Lots of sun. Yeah.
Sunny, a little bit of chill in the wind that you felt earlier. But good news, we're going to be headed for a slow but steady warm up for the next few days at least. Let's send it over to Greg.
Yeah, as typical March weather and going into April as we have the swings back and forth. And right now we're going to kind of be on the swing upwards with temperatures throughout the week. And then unfortunately the weekend does look to be wet like we had the previous weekend. But above average, definitely enjoyed the temperatures this week. But overall, tomorrow we'll see a little bit of an increase and I'm back to 50 for most of the areas. Mid-40s to the north. There's a little bit more cloud cover, especially further west you go, and that shower chance is mainly along the Mississippi River and west, so that may keep the temps down. A little bit of a northwest wind in the afternoon behind that. Now going into Wednesday, we'll see temperatures actually start off in the mid to upper 20s, pretty close to where we should be for this time of year, low 20s to the north, and then overall Wednesday, a little bit increase in the temperatures, so we're looking more mid-50s to low 50s. Average right now, temperature right now is getting close to 50 for a lot of areas, so this is just a little bit above average. And then going into Thursday, we're going to see then temperatures get back up into the lows will be in the mid to upper 30s, so that's even better. And then as we go into the high temperatures for Thursday, I think more areas will definitely see the 60s with that wind turning around from the southeast, indicating we do have a system that'll be approaching, but that definitely will help boost the temperatures up a little bit. So not a bad Thursday either. Now we talked about the precipitation chances here. We are seeing that come through as a weak disturbances kind of just really slide just southeastward across the area. And towards the afternoon, you might see a few of these showers, a better chance you go to the Twin Cities, less as you go further northeast, but this will be something you might encounter in the afternoon. Very light rain if we get anything sprinkles. Continues through the evening hours. More activity pushes just to the south of Winona over to Rochester and further south, but we still could see that continue to the evening hours, but not expecting a lot of activity across our area, just to stay just to our west and then clearing skies a little bit towards Tuesday night. So that's the shower chance as we go on. If we talk about the system next week, it gets a little bit more active and there's a lot of question marks. It does look like Thursday through Friday there could be showers, but I think a lot of that period will still remain dry, just clouds. Friday night through Saturday night, that's when I think most of the rainfall will occur. That's when we also could start seeing a little mix north of I-94, probably Saturday night. And then Sunday through Sunday night, that's when the accumulation, or excuse me, the rain to snow change probably goes for I-90 to 94, and maybe Sunday night further south you go. Less snowfall as you go further south. Now we could see accumulation, but for right now it may end up being like we saw for Sunday night into Monday to this morning with accumulation, but we'll keep track of that right now. So if you have play on Sunday and Sunday night, just stay tuned. But for right now, it looks like a lot of activity. And so far, the chances for seeing 3 inches or more for Saturday, that's still to the north. Overall, we still have a low shot of seeing that. The good news is this time of year, road conditions during the day are not too much of an issue. It's more when you go to nighttime. So something to monitor. But otherwise, the temperatures are going to climb to 70. In fact, Friday, there could be a lot of discrepancy of temperatures where Prairie du Chien could be mid to upper 70s, and Rusk County could be struggling to get into the low to mid 50s as a boundary sits across there. So that's kind of a little bit misleading. Not the whole area will see 70s. Otherwise, unfortunately, the wet weekend does look like it's more likely to happen.
Yeah, kind of a running theme with these weekends.
Yeah, last weekend was this weekend, so we'll see if we break that trend.
But we still need it, right?
Rainfall, yes, we still could eat. We're doing well, but like I said, this is fire season for us going into April until we can green up. So it is nice to have it.
Green up.
Thanks, Craig. Coming up next in sports, Donarski keeps on dancing as the Tar Heels make the Sweet 16. Plus, the Timberwolves looking to heat up as the NBA season nears an end. Cade is next.
Forecast is more than just temps and sky conditions. It's about how it affects your day. And every day, I'll break it down in a way that makes sense, especially when you're heading out the door. See you tomorrow morning.
That was funny. Yeah. That's a sick bike.
Boys.
Miss Sanderson?
See you Monday.
No way.
We all have a friend who loves the McDonald's hot, crispy Filet-O-Fish. My friend, you could be that friend.
Hurry in and get 2 Filet-O-Fish sandwiches for just $6.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on this Silverado. Or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
I did know that back pain, foot pain come along with the job of waiting tables, but since getting the arch supports from the Good Feet store, I have had no pain. I'm more positive. It's like opening up a whole new life, like sunshine coming out.
See how we can help you too at the Good Feet store.
How corrupt is Brad Schimmel? Let's count the ways. 1. Schimmel gave a plea deal to a man caught with child porn after the man's lawyer gave his campaign thousands of dollars. 2. Schimmel let 6,000 rape kits sit untested for years, then lied about it. 3. Schimmel took thousands in campaign contributions from opioid makers, then refused to go after them when opioid deaths spiked. That's Brad Schimmel, and he's way too corrupt for the Supreme Court.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community. Here's News 8 Now Sports with Kate Overton.
Yesterday, the Wisconsin women's hockey team earned their 8th national championship as they defeated Ohio State 4-3 in overtime. The game was a rematch from last year's national championship, or last 2 national championships rather. The Badgers won 2 years ago, Buckeyes last year, and Ohio State was dominating early in this one. 10 seconds into the second period, and Emma Pichel sends a rocket into the net. Ohio State goes up 2, but the Badgers were in trouble. Down but not out. Wisconsin would fight back. Kirsten Sims finds Caroline Harvey, who shoots and scores. That made it a 1-score game. And then 18 seconds to go in the match, and Ohio State covers the puck in the crease. So that means Sims is going to take a penalty shot, breaks the goalie's ankles, and sends this game into overtime. And the Badgers on the attack in OT. Guess who? It's Sims on the rebound. Badgers get the win, and Sims is a hero.
I was super nervous going into that moment, obviously, but they all calmed me down and remind me to just be confident in what I do and what I decide to do, and then it ended up working out for us. Everything comes from him, and he's such an incredible coach, and he proves it time and time again, and I think this season has been truly an incredible one, so it's just an honor to get to play under him and have such an incredible year.
Sims referring to her head coach, legendary Mark Johnson. He was named Coach of the Year prior to the Frozen Four as the Badger women finished the year 38-1-2, winning their 4th national championship in the last 6 seasons. We're down to just 16 teams in the NCAA men's basketball tournament, which means the head coach roller coaster has taken off. It made a stop in Minneapolis today as the Golden Gophers have hired Nico Medved. Now, Medved's season just got over last night as Colorado State fell to Maryland on a last-second shot in the second round. Medved has been at Colorado State for 7 seasons, but he's a Minnesota native and was a former assistant coach on Minnesota back in the 06-07 season. He led Colorado State to a 26-10 record this year and will take over a Minnesota program that's made the NCAA tournament just twice in the last 10 years. This afternoon, a couple of UWL track stars were named Indoor Track Athletes of the Year. On the women's side, lacrosse's own Lauren Jarrett received the honor as she rewrote the all-time Division III 60-meter record book, breaking the record multiple times and even finished 6th at the USA Track and Field Indoor Championships. On the men's side, Sam Blazowski received the honor as he broke his own D3 60-meter record and swept the sprints at the D3 Indoor Championships. The North Carolina women and Lexi Donarski still dancing, the former Aquinas Blue Gold, in a close one, but Donarski knocks down the mid-range, Tar Heels in front, and then in the second half tied at 35, but Donarski lets it fly from deep, nothing but net. She would finish with 11 points as North Carolina moves into the Sweet 16, 58-47 the final in that one. NBA action, Minnesota taking on the Indiana Pacers first quarter. Wolves down 3, but Anthony Edwards on the fast break splits the defense. Bucket plus the foul. We're all tied at 17. Then in the second quarter, it's Edwards again, flying through the air, somehow gets the layup to fall. But the Pacers had the hot hands tonight. Halliburton puts it up for Pascal Siakam, and he throws it down. Indiana wins 119-103. Bucks still finishing up a West Coast road trip, currently up 58-54 over the Suns. Milwaukee currently sitting as the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. And a quick reminder, Brewer baseball is back this week. Opening day set for Thursday. Milwaukee will start the season on the road, taking on the New York Yankees at 2 p.m. start time on ESPN. Now, there are many different projections and predictions out there, but Fangraphs projects the Brewers to finish the year at a balanced 81-81, finishing second in the division to the Cubs. Now, I don't know. I'm pretty up on the Brewers team this year. They're young, they're fun, and that Cubs team, I mean, they made a few acquisitions in the offseason, but it'll be a fun battle.
Yep, they got Kyle Tucker, who was a former Astro, a very good player. So that's the face of the Cubs now. But the Brewers, they were projected to be like 20 games under 500 last year, won the division, won 93 games. So.
And those projections don't mean anything. You got to play the games. Anything can happen. And a reminder, the Brewers home opener set for Monday. That game will be aired on our airways at WKBT. Really fun. Looking forward to that one.
Exciting times.
Good times
Thanks,
ahead.
Gabe.
All right, more news right after this.
When you have a drain backup, you need help fast. From slow drains to clogged mains, we solve it all. Maxwell White has been solving sewer, septic, and drain issues in the La Crosse Coulee region for more than 30 years. Fast, reliable, and professional. Call or book online today.
It's Truck Month with the Ford Crew.
It's time for the best deals across the full lineup. F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. You've got Maverick and the North American 2025 Truck of the Year, Ford Ranger, fully prepared.
Did you sleep here last night?
If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. And this crew is Truck Month ready.
Now get 2.9% financing for 72 months on a new Ford F-150. Plus, for a limited time, $1,000 bonus cash. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
It's amazing all the work that goes into growing this little guy. The research you've done over the past decades is critical to grow a good quality crop.
The UW-Madison has developed light casts to help farmers manage leaf blight before it takes root in potato fields.
I can't really overstate how important that is.
What's at stake isn't just the crop in the ground, it's the sustainability of your family farm.
This partnership really makes me proud to be a Wisconsin farmer.
One Wisconsin, on Wisconsin.
I was in a very bad relationship. After that, I made it my mission to help people. Brad Schimmel really wanted to know, how can we help survivors? He got right in there with me and did the work that needed to be done. I know Brad, the person, and I know how passionate he is about helping people. Women, sexual assault victims, children. He has made it his life's mission to help families. I know that about him.
At Spectrum, we believe every day unlocks unlimited possibilities to bring you closer to the people and places you love. Spectrum transforms your gaming experience into a galaxy of adventures. And with the fastest, most reliable internet, you're always front row to the entertainment you love, no matter where you are. Get Spectrum Internet Premier for $30 per month when bundled, plus a 3-year price guarantee. Call 1-833-440-0029. Spectrum Internet puts streaming live TV, sports, and popular apps all at your fingertips.
Slow or clogged sink, toilet, or main drain? Maxwell White can help. Ask about our $99 mainline drain opening special. Includes a free camera inspection. Address the root problem now to avoid costly repairs or future damage. Call or book online today.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
In Tennessee, for just one afternoon, you can challenge a police officer to a drag race and not get arrested right afterward.
My kind of competition. The Knoxville Dragway hosted its 4th annual race against the Popo yesterday. Nearby sheriff deputies volunteered time on their off days to race members of the public.
Yeah, organizers and officers say it's a great chance to spread goodwill and for the common people to see law enforcement as just fellow community members who like to have some fun.
And speed.
Deputies and law enforcement, they see so much stuff out in the world, but they get to come up here today, let their hair down a little bit, and just have fun.
I mean, they have a blast. I think they enjoy it sometimes more than we get to, but because they're actually getting a run from the police and there's no consequences to it.
Now this year, the funds raised are going to a Union County detective over there who is battling cancer. The sheriff says the whole department is grateful to the hundreds of East Tennessee residents who came out in support.
What a neat idea.
Right?
For a full afternoon,
So
you
cool.
cannot get a ticket. My
Then you can
old
say you
self-
can beat a police officer in a drag race.
Yeah. Emily has a bad history of having a lead foot, but
Ah.
I would have done. Yeah, I would have done well in this competition, but good way to raise money too for this.
Absolutely,
But,
for a good
all
cause.
right, Greg has a final look at your forecast right after this.
Getting the kids ready for school isn't always easy.
But knowing what it'll be like so they know what to wear makes it a little easier.
We'll see you tomorrow morning.
You wouldn't buy the first vehicle you saw.
Trust me, it's perfectly safe.
I'll take it. So don't hire the first personal injury lawyer you call.
Trust me.
Where do I sign?
Object to anything less than the best. Call BGR.
What should I do next?
Western has the answer.
Do something that excites you.
Do something fun. Do something that shows your skills.
Do something that gets you hired to do what you love.
You can do it all at Western Technical College. Choose from more than 90 programs. Invest in you, spend less, and get hired fast. Take that next step. Apply at Western today.
Do something for you.
Get solar and get saving with Olson Solar Energy.
The biggest thing I want to get across to people, whether it's via email or voicemail or text, is we are a local Wisconsin family-owned turnkey solar company.
We have project managers that will walk you through the process, keep you informed along the way, and make sure that the communication is the best that it can be.
All the financial benefits are awesome. And then on top of that, it's green energy. How can you lose?
There's been a lot of talk about this Supreme Court race, but here's what's really at stake. Brad Schimmel wants to make sure women don't have the right to make their own health care decisions. If he wins, that right is gone. I'm Susan Crawford, a former prosecutor, a common sense judge, and a mom. And I trust women to make their own health care decisions. Brad Schimmel doesn't, but I always will. And that's why I'm asking for your vote.
It's tournament time at Osseo Automotive, and the savings are giant.
And so is the selection.
Get giant savings on pre-owned Chevy trucks, like a 2020 Chevy Silverado 3500 LTZ for just $45,900. Or drive home a 2022 Chevy Silverado 1500 High Country for just $46,499.
You'll never see anything this big again.
The giant tournament sale is going on now at Osseo Ford, Nelson Gunderson Chevrolet, Fountain City Ford, and Rudy's in Whitehall.
Hiring the wrong personal injury attorney can cost you a lot. Researching personal injury attorneys costs you nothing. We're confident that your research will lead you to buy Goff and Rohde. BGR, object to anything less than the best.
Minus a few showers that may be along the Mississippi or west. We should be fairly milder tomorrow, more in the 50s, still some 40s out there. So all in all, not bad for the end of March. It gets a little better Wednesday and Thursday. And 70, yes, is possible for some areas on Friday.
Fingers crossed.
That does it for us at 10.
We'll see you tomorrow.